Hi, my name is Robb Hillman. I'm a registered nurse and certified life coach, and I think today is a good day for a good day. Now, you might notice I am in a different location than usual. I'm also in a swivel chair, and I need to stop rocking. We finished up our house sit in Arkansas. We are now back in Las Vegas. This is my parents' house, so you might appreciate the American flag memorabilia behind me. My dad is a Vietnam vet, and yes, that is a picture of John Wayne on the wall, because what can I say? That's my dad. But what I want to talk about today is a little trick, I guess you could call it, to help figure out how to do the things that we tell ourselves we want to do, right? We want to make a change, we want to set a goal, and then how do we actually do it when the time comes to do the thing, right? Because we always make our goals for the future. Well, I'm going to start working out this week, and I'm going to go to the gym 3 times. And then tomorrow happens, and it's tomorrow, and then we're like, oh wait, is today going to be the day that I go to the gym? I have to work, and it's raining, and I just don't really feel like it, so I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and it's like, oh well, is today going to be the day, right? And we've just set ourselves up that every day now we have to make that decision whether is today going to be the day that I do it or not. And that kind of sets us up to fail, right? Because making that decision can be hard. Okay, I'm going to give you a personal example. So I got a Fitbit for Christmas. Well, not a Fitbit, what's it called? The Jawbone Up, right? It's just this little bracelet that tracks your steps. And when I got it, I was like, because they recommend that you do 10,000 steps every day. And I'm a big walker, so I was like, 10,000 steps, I'm just going to do that. And what I found myself doing is that most days I would do it. And then some days, like I said, it was winter, it would be cold outside, or it would be raining, or I just got a blister, and I find excuses for all the really good reasons why that day I didn't have to do it, or the day before I would do 20,000 steps, and I'm like, well, it averages out, so I don't need to do it tomorrow because it's all the same, I found so many excuses of why I didn't have to do it. I actually went on vacation and did really good while I was on vacation because I was, in South America. I'm walking all over the place. It was great. And then when we came home, we had a 11.5-hour red-eye flight from Buenos Aires to Albuquerque. And then the next day I had to drive 10.5 hours from Albuquerque to our house in Arkansas. Okay, so I was like, this is crazy. I'm exhausted. I'm jet lagged. I did, like 25,000 steps the day before when we were in Buenos Aires walking around. So I had all the excuses, like, I don't really need to do this. And then what happened is this. This came up working with a particular client who's, again, trying to go to the gym. And what we decided, because I think mantras are great. They kind of help put things into just very simple forms that are easy for us to remember. And what we came up with her is, this is not optional. Okay, it's just a very easy way of saying, I've already decided I'm going to do this. I don't have to waste the brain energy today deciding again if I'm going to do it or not today. I've already decided. So it's not optional. Now what I have to do is just take that same brain energy and figure out, how am I going to do it? Okay, so I'm in the car, we're pulling out of Albuquerque, and I'm like, there's just no way. It's 10.5 hours, we're going to get there, it's already going to be dark, meeting these new people that I don't know yet. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to go on a 5.5 mile walk, I'll be back in a little while, right? I wasn't going to do that. So I just brushed it off. I was not going to do it. But that thought just kept coming back to me. This is not optional. You've already decided this. You have to figure it out. So at first I was really irritated with that thought, but eventually I was like, okay, how am I going to do it? So we pulled over to a rest stop, and I was just like, I could walk around the parking lot a little bit. There's these little trails and there's trees, right? Like all the rest stops are usually got little trails and stuff for people to walk their dogs. So I just started walking around, and we got back in the car, and I had like 1,200 steps, and I was like, So then we drove another couple hours, and I stopped again. I was like, well, I'm just going to spend a half hour. I'm just going to walk around, right? And so we did this. I just started stopping at every single rest stop that we stopped, and we were never there very long. I'd get 1,000 steps or so, and then we'd get back in the car and keep going. But by the time we got there, I had my 10,000 steps, right? Instead of wasting my energy finding all my excuses and complaining and having this inner turmoil about whether I was going to get it or not, I just decided this isn't optional. I'm going to do it. And I figured out a way to make it happen. The reason this is coming up is because I just figured out my calendar yesterday, and yesterday was my 120th day in a row of getting at least 10,000 steps every day. And like, as far as goals go, it's not the biggest, most life-altering goal ever, but it's very clearly something I said, I want to do this. I decided ahead of time, this is going to be the thing that I do, and just made it. This is not optional. It's not an optional goal. I have to do it. If I get a blister, I have to figure out how I'm going to do it. If I go traveling to a conference and it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm in a hotel room and I only have 8,000 steps, I'm going to walk in circles around the bed for a half an hour to get those steps and walk 1.5 miles in a 20 by 20 room, and I'm going to get my steps. And I've made it happen every single day for 120 days. Okay? This is a silly example, but it totally works. So I want you to look at your life, look at the goals you are trying to do. What is it that you want to change? Do you want to eat differently? Do you want to exercise more? Are you trying to figure out ways that you can, be happier at work, or to compliment more people, or, whatever it is that you want to do? Ask yourself, is this goal optional or is it not? If it is optional, that's fine. You don't have to make everything black and white in your entire life. You can just acknowledge it. I'm going to decide on the day, and just know that that's probably not going to be the most successful goal you have. But if you have a goal that is important to you, that this is something you really want, just decide. This is not optional. This is what I am doing every day. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to the gym in the morning before work. Or, when I get home from work, it's just going to be part of my new routine. And even if I don't like it, and even if it's cold outside, and even if I, had a bad day, I'm just going to do it. It's not optional. I don't have to decide. I don't have to spend any energy deciding whether I'm going to do it, because I'm deciding right now. I'm just going to do it. It's not optional. Okay? This is a small little mantra, but I think it's hugely helpful. It certainly has been for me. It certainly has been for a couple of my clients. I think it can be for you too. Just make that decision now. Is my goal optional? Because once you decide that it's not optional, then you just have to figure out how to do it. All right, I hope this has been helpful. Thank you guys so much. These videos have been going over pretty well. Please continue to share them on the Facebook. I always appreciate that. And let me, of course, know if you have any questions. Some of you might have noticed I've started a new feature on the blog where I'm just answering people's questions. So if you have any questions about anything that's going on in your life, something at work, something at home, something that's frustrating, something that's just not working out right, just anything you want to ask a life coach, shoot me an email, and you might find your question in the next edition of my Q&A. All right, so thank you guys so much, and I will talk to you next time.